Danielis.
And we are together, Two Old Chicks Picks. And we are here today with our new old faves. So we're just gonna get right down to business today. I have my little halo on just for you today, Rosemary. And I'm so fascinated. Look at this. You can pretty much not fool the thing. It won't, leave your head. That amazes me. So I figured I'd be a little angel today, since you threatened last time you were going to dress up every single time we did this. So I was a little worried, but I see that you're not. So
yeah, you're on your own today.
Okay, so go ahead. You start. What do you got? What is one of your new old faves?
New old faves. Well, I'm more of an inspiration. This book was first of all, it's called, we can always see if we do it without the glare, The Language of Flowers. Can you see it clearly?
Yeah.
By Vanessa Diefenbach, if that's the pronunciation. And what attracted me to this book initially is that I have a book in the works about using flowers as language. And this book, and I was a bit nervous that, oh no, this person wrote that book for me. But once I read it, she tackles it in the subject in a way that I'll be doing it differently. So it was an inspiration to write my own book, and she uses many aspects of using flowers to communicate that interests me a lot also. I'll just tell you a little bit about this book. It's the story of Victoria, a young girl called Victoria. And I don't know, because it might be, but the using flowers to communicate comes from the Victorian era time. And so I'm wondering if that's why they named the protagonist Victoria. Anyway, it follows her story, a very sad story of a girl going through foster care, and how she somehow attaches to flowers and uses them to communicate mostly sadness and grief and her hard life that she's having. And she because going through foster care, she's very wounded and she's very hard and develops a protective shell around herself. And eventually she ends up living homeless after she escapes and never finds a family to live with. And she meets a woman who runs a florist shop. Isn't that perfect? And this person takes her in, and Victoria discovers she has a gift. I don't know if you remember the movie Chocolat, where the chocolate solves problems.
Yes.
In this case, it's so perfect. People come in requesting bouquets of flowers, and she'll say, what's the occasion? What's the purpose? And they'll tell her, and she will assemble the flowers, the bouquet of flowers, based on the meaning of flowers to solve the problem or help the situation. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, that's really nice.
And so the bouquets are really kind of messages in a way. And she ends up throughout in the book later on falling in love, but because she's broken, her relationship is complicated and difficult and wonderful, all wrapped up together, just like real life. And okay, a couple of things that were fantastic. The writing is very beautiful, and how the author moves the story forward using the flowers. So the first time she meets her love interest, she's very caged and closed to people. So I guess a guy ends up being her love interest. He shows interest in her, and she is she doesn't like him noticing her, staring at her. So this is just general. She's a very cagey person. It's a little interesting and hard to have her as a protagonist, because she's, not your average person. But anyway, so she's following the person who owns the florist at following her around at a flower market, helping her out as an assistant, taking the flowers to carry that the owner's buying at this huge open flower market. And she notices this man, one of the people working at the booth, staring at her. So, and she feels something, and she doesn't want to feel anything. So she gets angry. Her reaction is angry and to push him away. So he takes out a single orange lily. Here. He withdrew a single orange tiger lily from a bucket. Take one, he said, handing it to me. No, I said, I don't like lilies. And I'm no queen, I thought, because the lilies are for royalty, flower of royalty. You should, he said, they suit you. How do you know what suits me? Without thinking, I snapped the head of the lily he held. Ouch, because I love those flowers. 6 pointed fat petals fell, the flower's face examining the hard floor. Renata sucked in her breath. That's the owner. I don't, he said. So he said, you should, they suit you. How do you know what suits me? I don't, he said. I didn't think so. I rocked the full bucket of flowers I carried, dispersing the heat radiating from my body. The motion drew attention to my shaking arms. Okay, so that's, first of all, if someone, a guy hands you a lily, lilies are really big, beautiful flowers. You take it and snap the head off. Pretty dramatic communication, right? So then she's been trying to avoid any contact with him because he's entering in the shell, and she wants to make sure nothing enters in the shell, right? So she's been avoiding him and have been staying away from the area that he sells flowers. So she's had to go back to the market. She doesn't want to, but she has to. So our interaction the week before had plagued me, and I'd scoured McKinley Square until I found the right flower to diffuse his unwarranted interest. I took off my backpack and withdrew a leafy stem. Rhododendron, I said, placing the clipping on the plywood counter before him. The cluster of purple blossoms was not yet open, and the buds pointed in his direction, tightly coiled and toxic. Beware. That's what they mean. I'm saying that's what they mean. He studied the plant, then the warning in my eyes. When he looked away, I knew he understood the flower was not a gift. He picked it up with his thumb and index finger and tossed it into a trash bucket. So that's the second. So that was his gift of the flower, her message with the flower, and then this is just show you how this works in the book. And so this is the last one now. Again, they're back at the market, and he is going to give her something. Here. His booth closed Sundays, Renata said, as we walked gesturing in the direction of the mysterious vendor. But as we approached his empty stall, a hooded silhouette appeared, perched on a stool and leaning against the wall. He stood when he saw me, bending over the flowerless buckets, his image reflected in the still circles of water. From the pocket of his sweatshirt, he withdrew something green and spindly. He held it up. Renata greeted him as we passed. I acknowledged his presence only by reaching out to grasp what he had brought me, keeping my eyes on the ground. When I was safely around a corner out of view, I looked into my hand. Oval, gray-green leaves grew from a tangle of lime-colored twigs, translucent balls clinging to the branches like drops of rain. The clipping fit exactly in the palm of my hand, and the soft leaves stung where they touched. Mistletoe. I surmount all obstacles. That's his message to her.
Oh, that's cute.
So amazing. At the end of the book, too, by the way, she has a, I don't know if you call it, Victoria's Dictionary of Flowers.
Oh, cool.
Different flowers.
So you know what it means.
Pardon? Yeah.
So I almost picked that book up one time. I remember I was interested in that, so I'll have to read it now. So.
And mine's going to be awesome too, but this one was beautiful. And so what did I love the most about it? Flowers, too, that the flowers speak and have meaning, that they are a salve for her and her brokenness, and that the writing was really beautiful. That's my inspiration. And what is your pick for inspiration?
My pick for inspiration is Lori Lanson's Rush Home Road. Love Lori Lanson's. There it is. There. Is it clear?
Yeah, perfectly clear.
So this book inspired me in so many ways. This is a little bit older. This book's been out for a while. Probably, I don't know. I didn't look back. Anyways, it's been out at least 7 years, 8 years. And this is written by a girl that I went to high school with. She was actually at the opposite high school to me in our hometown, but we were in high school at the same time. We knew each other. And we actually went off to the same college together, and we drove back and forth to school on weekends together. And she had a dream of becoming an author. I had a dream of becoming an author. But Lori figured it out a lot faster than me. And Lori went from college. We were both in a college writing class. And I dropped out of it because they were going to teach us like report writing, and I didn't want anything to do with that. And I remember Lori saying on one of the trips back and forth in the car, oh, hey, you know, just take it, learn to write. You can always insert beautiful writing later. You know, just get the fundamentals down. And I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Well, Lori finished. She went off to write for a major newspaper, and then from there to television, and then from there to acting, and then from there to writing this best-selling, wonderful novel right here.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And many, many more afterward. The Girls is also a phenomenal read. Her second book. The third book, the name is escaping me, but I know it takes place with a lady who orders Laura Secord chocolates from Russell Brown Drugstore, which is in our hometown. She likes to throw in things from her hometown, and I love that about her writing. And also, her most recent book, The Mountain Story, is an amazing, amazing story of survival and a real introspective look into the human condition and just people from the very core, their very heart, what makes you tick, what decisions you make, life and death situations. And when that happens, people get right down to being who they truly are. It's a great book too. I just finished that one. So anyway, this one really inspired me, and it's always been my inspiration, partly because I walked into the bookstore in my hometown, to a Kohl's bookstore, and there it was like this sitting on the shelf, and I walked past and I was like, double take, that is Lori's book, that's gotta be Lori. And I pulled it off, sure enough, girl from Chatham, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh, she did it. And I was thinking, wow, if she can do this, that opened the door for me. Like that really made me believe small town girl from this place in Ontario could possibly really write this and do well. And this book was a slow burn, and it took a while to get going, and then it just took off, and it was major, and her other books have been too. And I loved it so much, partly because it's set in a faux Chatham, my old hometown, and it's also about ethnicity and our culture of the area. And it's about a young girl in a trailer park who is being raised by her mother, who's not really caring much about her. She is a child of color, and so she also has that element that she's dealing with within this trailer park as well. And her mother is not a great mother, a horrible person actually, and she leaves her. And she's about 5 and puts some things in a red suitcase and sends her on her way to go see this lady called Addie Shad. And she tells her in the trailer park, she'll, go knock on her door. So it becomes very clear to this older woman, also of color, in the trailer park that this little girl's mom's not coming back. Like, she's dumped her. She essentially has boots on, and I think she has one thing in the suitcase. So Addie takes her in at the goodness of her heart, and she starts to raise this little girl. And as she does that, you flip back and forth between chapters of Addie's life when she was small in the same area, overcoming the same things and prejudices in life and situation. And it's during the bootlegging time frame when actually the Detroit-Windsor border used to be a bootlegging hub for booze coming across during the Prohibition. And thus Hiram Markers is, right on the river. But anyway, it talks about that, and it's her family's struggle to make money, though they are free, and there's not the slavery situation. It's not that far back, but they're living in a community and trying to make their way. And it's the story of her family intermixed with the story of what's happening to this little girl in present. And Addie Shad has this incredible life that you follow. She's an incredibly tenacity. She has incredible tenacity. She's got strength of character. And she literally overcomes a lot of odds. Some she doesn't. Very sad. And it's just a really super great book about that woman's journey. I won't tell the end because it's really, you got to read the end. You just got to read the end on your own. Yeah, so anyway, she's always been my inspiration, and this book was super, super inspirational. And I just love that she tastefully, beautifully brought to life this imaginative character that could have lived in our area and could have gone through. You know, she did a lot of research. She detailed the life experiences of the area so well. It's really a great read. So I highly recommend this one.
Okay.
5 hugs there.
We forgot to do our hugs. Yeah.
And then on tap, I have my second inspiration is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lainitaylor. I think that really gets old. A lot of people love Lainitaylor, but I absolutely love her writing. I just love the sound of her sentences, the cadence, the way she puts words together. And again, this book, you know, it's a good book for me and a good inspiration when, you know, the pages are all yellowed and there's like sticky notes hanging out the side. So this one says, read this page over and over again. This is amazing stuff. That's what this one says. And there's another one back here that says, what a kissing scene. I could learn from this. And there's another one that just says, Jackie, try harder. This could be you. And this is you know, it's a few years ago. So I just think it's so comical that I'm writing these things to me inside of these really great books that I absolutely love. So, and it's, you know, it's a sci-fi. It's about an angel, and you know, a couple of angels and a girl who meets this angel and the trouble that she has. And she has this great mystical world behind a door that she's been brought up in with these really interesting characters, like that there are not a normal kind of thing. She's kind of made up her own characters. And this gruff, rather interesting half man, half bull person basically has been her father as she was orphaned there and brought her up very gruff and stern, but he loves her dearly. And the fascinating part about that book too is that she has to go on a mission to collect teeth in order to keep their world going and in balance and in sync. They have to have she brings them back to her father to make these necklaces. So she goes on these nightly death-defying journeys into another world to abstract. It's all very fascinating. So yeah, and then the whole series was great. So
that sounds great.
And what else do you have on tap that you're?
I have one to be read. My to be read pile is growing faster than I'm reading. And it is called Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Oops. Okay,
hold that still. We didn't get a good shot of that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wait, keep holding it. You have to talk.
I have to, oh, I see. Okay, I'm talking.
There we go.
Uprooted
by that looks good.
Yes.
I like that cover.
I have to talk if I want the camera. Anyway, this sounds very interesting. It's a twist on a fairy tale, a dragon story, except the dragon's a wizard. And in order for, there's dangers outside this village, and the wizard will keep their town safe. They just have to provide him with a young girl once every 10 years. And the protagonist knows she's not going to get chosen because she's nothing special, plain, not particularly talented, not particularly beautiful. And she's terrified. The most talented and beautiful person in the town is her best friend. And so she's terrified because she knows her best friend is going to get chosen. And oh, she gets chosen instead. And supposedly the rest is twist after twist after twist. So it's a rewriting of a fairy tale with many, many twists. So that sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to reading that.
Oh, that's different.
Do you have any? Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything new to be read?
I have to be reads. No, I don't have a to be read this week. Because I'm still finishing up that great story about love hobbling into town on a twisted ankle. I am so loving that little book. It is so cute. I am so into that book. So I just haven't had much time to read. So I'm going to finish that one up and then maybe talk a tiny bit more about it. Like, that girl's getting a lot of press from me. So, yeah. So what else have you been up to in your own realm of writing, Rosemary? Tell us a little bit.
I've been working on the cover for my soon-to-be released women's fiction romance called My Love is Blue, which should be out end of November, early December. More on that, more on the details of what the story's about later. But that's it. I'm very excited. The cover's beautiful, and I'll be very happy to show that off when it's done. And I also take
my feature right here. You're gonna have to feature it, right?
I definitely will. And I'm also planning to release a flower photo book that will be flowers with text, accompanying text, that will have a Christmas theme to it. Yay! Or something that people would want around Christmas, full of sparkles and whiteness and wishes and dreams. So that's
cool. There's going to be a lineup for that book because people have been waiting for you to do something with those great photos of yours. So I'm betting it's going to go like hotcakes. So everybody be prepared. You'll hear about it here first. So
yeah, awesome. You're my biggest flower fan.
Yes. Well, I think there's a lot of fans out there of your photo books, and wait until they read your writing, because then they're going to be wowed some more. So I can't wait. I've read My Love is Blue, and it's awesome. And I can't wait for it to come out. So I'm excited to see what you do to the cover too. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, it's really good. That's going to be your debut, your big debut. Very cool.
The debut on two fronts, my writing and my flowers. I'm very excited. Yeah.
You're really getting out there, girlfriend. You're just like getting it all to happen all at once.
Yeah, Jackie.
Long time coming, but it's getting done.
Long time coming. Jackie did a lot of pushing. A lot of helping.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Stalling is my middle name, so yeah. No, not anymore. And you, Jackie, what do you have up and coming?
I, of course, am working on a million things at once, because that's what I do.
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah. So right now I have decided that I was stalled on a project, so I brought out my old writing books, of course, and I reread The Writer's Journey, Christopher Vogler, and I reread Save the Cat, and I brought out my Michael Haig book, and I looked over everything there, and then I realized, hey, I did some templates for those a long time ago where I actually put out their strategy for writing onto some spreadsheets and, left room for whatever book I'm working on to fill those in. And I thought, well, I'm stuck. This is perfect. This is where I need to go. So I did the Save the Cat template over, and I did over Michael Haig's one, and I did Christopher Vogler's, and then crossed them because they're all a tiny bit different. But of course, they're pretty much the same, but they all kind of look at different things, different elements of story writing, of the progression of your plot in a different way. And I found that for the one book I was stuck on, the Michael Haig one addressed it the best. For the other book I was stuck on, the Christopher Vogler one addressed it the best. So that's something to think about out there, writers, is don't get yourself stuck and think, I have to fit my book into, this pattern that I read and Save the Cat and must fit, and it's not fitting, and how come? It might just lend itself to a little tweak here or there. So those three books, if you cross-reference those three plans for writing, I bet you'll come up with a way that fits your book. And
we should put those links up at the end too for that, because that's helpful. I didn't know that. I knew Save the Cat, but I didn't know of the other two. So
yeah, The Writer's Journey is a really, really great book, and well, so all three of them are, but and it's very helpful to make your own spreadsheets after you read them to absorb it again. Like they just talk about different beats within a plot where things happen, where they should kind of happen, what should follow what, and it's helpful to fit your book in there because you'll see a big hole when you do that. I found the big hole. I was like, wow, in all three examples, this area here, I have nothing for it. So that's my fall down, and I've got to rethink the plot in that section. Very helpful. So that got me going, and on that particular project. And then I, of course, can't help myself. So I started another super secret project.
Hey.
Some magic, and it's like really kind of fun, and I'm enjoying it, so I can't say more than that. But it's funny because when you're stuck, it's probably a good idea to maybe drop the stuck project and try to do something else for a little while. I was so stuck, and I just kept like, you know, like anybody who knows snow driving, you know, you don't just keep stepping on the gas while you're stuck in the driveway because your tires just keep spinning. And that's what I liken it to. I think that's what I was doing, just like vroom, vroom in the snow. And I wasn't going anywhere. So all of a sudden this other idea came to me, and I was like, no, I need to stay focused. And then I was like, well, I'm not focused anyway. So I started writing. 15,000 words later, I'm just flying through this. So, and it's allowed me, it's freed me up to get my brain back in this other book and get it into these templates like I was talking about. So
That's a great idea.
yeah, unstick yourself.
Yes. And you know what, too? When you're in the snow, the actual way out is to go a little bit backwards, then forward, then backwards, then forward. So there you go.
Exactly. And, you know, get some sand out and throw it under the tires, which is pretty much those books I was talking about with the sand under my tires.
Exactly. Traction.
Traction. Yes. That's my traction. Those are my traction books.
Writing traction. Yeah.
My traction picks and my traction suggestion for you. If you are like me, you are writers that are spinning your tires and not getting anywhere. So
yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been fiddling with some new covers of books that aren't done. That's always useful.
But sometimes it takes that to spur you forward.
Yeah, I think all of it had to happen. Oh, and I've been like wrestling with a new website, which is a big time suck.
Yes.
And very important one, but a very big one.
Yeah.
So I think I'm nearing the end of that craziness, which should be awesome. So yeah, I'll be releasing a new website soon for everyone to have a peek. Hopefully it'll be more interactive than the one I have. So yeah.
So we're happening.
Yes, that is everything I've been doing this week. So I would say that that's wrapping everything up. I think we're going to be back in 2 weeks with some more books for all of you people. And we're going to be talking about some great literature. So we hope you tune in. And until then, I guess I will be the Queen of Hearts. No,
very nice.
I'm trying to get this off, but it's staying on. There we go. Okay. So
free, costume free.
All right, I'm gonna let you sign off this week, Rosemary. So we have been Two Old Chicks Picks.
Two Old Chicks Picks saying goodbye and see you in 2 weeks. Bye, Jackie. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Rosemary.